Next on the Delaware Way, Wilmington has a brand new professional basketball team, and the state is being sued over school funding. This is the Delaware Way. Welcome to the Delaware Way. Big news. Wilmington is going to get a professional basketball team and a field house to boot. Here to talk about it is Larry Meli, who is the president of the Delaware Bluecoats.
The Bluecoats have arrived.
Now, the Bluecoats used to be the 87ers.
Correct, yes.
Why the name change?
So we had this gift, this field house, the Sixers field house that we're building at the end of this year, and we wanted to take the opportunity with this move to change and rebrand the team. Something that would be more Delaware-centric, something that's reflective of the people and the history, but also speaks to the Sixers' namesake as well. So.
Yeah, I read somewhere in one of the articles that said, well, people wouldn't confuse the 76ers with the 87ers. Was that really happening?
I think if you looked at the 87ers logo, which was that iconic ball logo, I think some people would confuse it with the Sixers logo. So to get rid of that confusion, we decided to.
Now, there must have been a lot of thought going into the name change, right? So take me through that. Why? You gave me the reasons, but why Bluecoats?
So, as you know, or may not know, blood runs blue here in Delaware. So we wanted something to tie back to that revolutionary theme, which is kind of our connection to the Sixers. So there was this Delaware regiment in the Revolutionary War, this elite fighting force that was known as the Blues. And Caesar Rodney outfitted this group in pristine blue coats. And that really was where our name.
You gave me a lot more credit
I'm taking
than I
back.
deserved. Yeah,
my history teacher would be so proud of me right now.
Yeah, that was very good. Do you have an allegiance or an affiliation with the Blue Rocks at all?
No, I mean they're our neighbors, and we certainly are there to help, support them.
Do you cross promote with them?
Yeah, we haven't yet, but we'd like to since now we're going to be in Wilmington.
Now let's talk about the field house, because that's a big part of this. Where's it going to be? What's it going to look like? Give me all the particulars.
So it's 140,000 square feet. It's going to be on Route 13, almost diagonal from the ShopRite there. It's going to have 2 soccer fields, 3 basketball courts. Nemours Children's Hospital will do physical therapy out of there.
Wow.
And it's going to benefit thousands and thousands of youth in this area.
How did this come about?
So we were looking for a home. We needed something long term. And as great as the University of Delaware has been for us the last 5 years, long term, for us to sustain, we needed our own place. And the Sixers, Mom and Dad, came in, I guess, in a way, and we partnered with the Buccini Pollen Group. And this is a passion project for Rob Buccini. And the Sixers wanted to, keep us here in Delaware, and that's really kind of how it started.
The relationship between the 76ers and now the Bluecoats, explain it. Explain what you mean to that organization, why they would invest so much in the organization.
So we're the minor league affiliate for the Sixers, just like in baseball, AAA, for example. We are that to the 76ers. So we're an important piece in the development of players, coaches, front office staff, what have you. And Brian Colangelo and Elton Brand, who's our GM, really focus on player development. And now that our center of gravity is here, we're going to have a state-of-the-art facility, training, weight, all the things that go into kind of working on your craft as a basketball player is what this is going to be.
It's strange because I think people might think this is superfluous because didn't they spend a fortune to put a facility like this in Camden?
Yeah.
Are you different than that facility?
Well, if you look at the Sixers organization, they've gone into these cities like Newark, Camden, now Wilmington, that in some ways have some big city problems. And we're there to use the power of sports, or basketball in this case, to uplift the community. So you build this state-of-the-art facility that not only that we'll benefit from, but that the surrounding community will as well.
There's probably a marketing part of this as well, right? Mm-hmm. You put these facilities in an urban area where you have young kids growing up, right, and not only get to go to the games, but look up to it and maybe go there and get to play sometimes. And then you have this affiliation to a team that wouldn't exist otherwise.
Right. You're so right. I mean, this is something for the youth in this area to aspire to be a part of. And whether it's community programs that will run through there or giving kids an opportunity to train and develop in soccer or basketball, lacrosse, field hockey, It's just going to be really a beacon of, I think, of light for a lot of the kids.
And it's exciting that the team's going to play in Wilmington. That's exciting. It's exciting that there's going to be a new field house. But I would imagine, and you talked about Nemours coming up, and you talked about the soccer fields there. So will there be programs built in for outreach to bring kids and to bring some of the people in the neighborhood into the facility?
Absolutely, and it's what we're working on right now, especially with the mayor and the city of Wilmington, just finding ways that we can engage some of the underserved areas and get these kids outside of their 2 or 3 block life and getting them down to the riverfront. And what I've learned is some of these kids haven't been to a professional game. So we can kind of use our players, our assets, our game to help enrich these kids, get them inspired, and just look beyond just their life as it is.
Right, this goes to so many things and so many of the problems Wilmington's having right now. And one of the problems they're having, of course, as you know, is the murder rate, the crime rate, the drugs in the city, and the problem with education in the city. I would think you'd play a part in all of that.
Yeah, and we tried, the last 5 years, we've been able to get into the schools, use our players as almost like a mentor, and use even our staff. Like we get out and we do 87 hours of community service just to, I think you have an obligation as a professional sports team to serve the community that you work and play in. And, we have, I guess we have this opportunity to impact kids.
Well, and also just to give an alternative, some of the kids, I've talked to parents that are afraid, their kids come home from school and they don't want them to go out.
Right.
They're afraid if they go outside, so they're stuck inside all day long as protection for their children. This gives them, I would hope, this gives them another place to go.
Right.
This gives them another, and a place that's going to look like Oz to them.
Yes, right. Something they've never seen before. And you can focus on health and wellness while they're there, but I think we can also provide opportunities to learn about leadership and teamwork, like all those life lessons that sports brings, we can kind of instill and reinforce with these kids.
That there's something beyond your neighborhood that's attainable.
Exactly.
Because it's right down the street now. Speaking of being right down the street, this is going to improve your attendance too, I would think. You're closer now to Philadelphia, so you have all these 76ers fans who in the past may not have wanted to travel all the way down to the University of Delaware, but Wilmington's in the backyard.
We are going to pack this every night. We'll be at capacity. You're talking maybe 2,000 to 2,200 seats. So we're going to give this perception that, hey, this is the place to be. It's going to be a fun time for families and businesses and what have you.
You're going to pack this every night?
Every night.
So season tickets are already sold out?
We're getting there. We'll be there.
Are you really?
Well, we're just starting. But to be perfectly frank, though, that we expect that we should be able to sell this thing out every night. So that's our goal.
Larry Meli, president of the new Delaware Blue Coats. The Delaware Way continues right after this.